Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Muhammad Nabil bin Zaaba from CEEC 2223C2. In 2018, one of my uncles from my mother's side contracted gastric cancer, and the most surprising thing to me is the fact that he is one of the most athletic person that I know. I was informed that one of the most probable perpetrators for it is due to my uncle's bad diet that causes constant stomach inflammation. So, according to My Health, a website under the Ministry of Health Malaysia, gastric cancer is the 6th most common cancer among men and the 10th most common cancer among women in Malaysia. As such, I find that it is important to know more about the important factors of our gut microbiome and its effects on our physical health. So, I have done some research about the topic and I'm going to explain my findings to you. From what I have found, our gut microbiome plays an important role for our digestion, immune function, and inflammation reduction. So, let us learn about the role that they have for our physical health. The first role our gut microbiome plays is the digestion system of our body. It helps break down complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fats that our bodies simply cannot digest on their own. For complex carbohydrates like fiber, for example, it will be mostly undigested and moved to the large intestine to ferment. During fermentation, the gut microbiome produces short-chain fatty acids which helps maintain the health of the intestinal lining, which is the first layer of intestine that is in contact with food and drinks that we consume. So, next, for proteins, it helps to break down proteins that are not fully digested in the stomach that move to the intestines into amino acids through a process called proteolysis, which is the breakdown of proteins into their constituent amino acids. The smaller proteins, or peptides as we call it, will enter proteolysis using enzymes called proteases, and the resultant amino acids will then be absorbed in the body for their vital functions such as providing structural support in the body in the form of muscle, catalyze chemical reactions, and coordinate cell signaling pathways. And the third is for fats. It helps break down fats by modifying the bile acids produced by our liver and stored in our gallbladder through a process called deconjugation, which involves removing the amino acid group that is attached to the bile acid molecule, making them more effective at breaking down fats. All of this in combination helps smoothing and easing the process of digestion, waste production, and bowel movement in the body. Now, we will be moving on to the second role. The second role our gut microbiome plays is the immune function of the human body. The gut is home to our large portion of the body's immune system, known as gut-associated lymphoid tissue or GALT. GALT includes specialized immune cells such as lymphocytes and dendritic cells that are responsible for detecting and responding to harmful pathogens in the gut, protecting it from infections. The gut microbiome affects gut by promoting maturation of the immune cells simply by providing a diverse array of antigens, which are molecules that can trigger an immune response. This can help to stimulate the maturation process of immune cells, particularly the lymphocytes, the B cells and T cells, which leads to better immune cells quality in our body. The gut microbiome also helps maintain the integrity of the gut barrier by promoting the production and secretion of mucus, which forms a protective layer over the gut lining, which then helps prevent harmful pathogens and toxins from directly contacting the gut barrier. If the immune function is compromised, we are more susceptible to infections and are unable to fight the development of autoimmune disorders in our bodies such as arthritis, lupus, and sclerosis. Finally, the third role our gut microbiome plays is the inflammation reduction in the human body. It does so by producing short-chain fatty acids that, other than maintaining the health of the intestinal lining, also inhibits pro-inflammatory cytokines and promotes anti-inflammatory cytokines. So cytokines are akin to text messages that cells in our body send to each other to coordinate their activities. While both types of cytokines are needed for cells communication in the body, excessive pro-inflammatory cytokines will lead to premature degradation of cells and tissue destruction, which can further worsen a person's state of body. When both pro-inflammatory cytokines are inhibited and anti-inflammatory cytokines are promoted together, this helps dampen inflammation and promote cell healing. The gut microbiome also helps by simply competing resources with harmful pathogens. The more and stronger the gut microbiome, the less chance that the pathogens have to colonize and grow, leading to lesser inflammation. If inflammations in the body are not properly reduced, best case scenario, it can lead to fever, and worst case scenario, it can lead to damages to the wall of blood vessels, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Excessive and chronic inflammation also can damage DNA and cells, leading to mutations that lead to proliferation of cancer cells. In conclusion, based on our current knowledge available, our gut microbiome plays an important role on our digestion, immune function, and inflammation reduction. As such, before I end my speech, I would like to give some tips on how we can improve our gut microbiome. Firstly, avoid and reduce highly processed foods, as the excessive chemical in the food can negatively affect the microbiome. Second, stay hydrated, as water is needed to keep the gut microbiome working properly. And finally, eat more fermented foods such as yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, and especially kefir, as they have a lot of life beneficial bacteria that helps the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is important for our physical health as it has a vital connection to the whole body function and its protective system. The gut microbiome is our unsung hero that maintains our well-being, even when its own well-being is not given much care. That is all from me. Thank you for watching.